everyone, and welcome to our coverage of the 2022 Promation Corduroy Enduro presented by GP Bikes. Pat and Blair back with you again as we take a look at test number 3 on day 1 McCrumbs, which is same name, but this is not the same McCrumbs we've known from past cords.
Yeah, it is a lot different, Pat. We've added 6K in the middle, but not all the riders are riding it. The experts and the pros and the vet experts, they're going to ride the extra 6K. Everybody else is going to ride it just like the Vintage did on Friday, 3.5K. The 3.5K is pretty open, a lot of 2-track, a little bit of mud and that sort of thing, but the brand new 6 kilometers is all fresh stuff, very tight, very technical. Mark Ailes is one of the landowners in there, and he's also the guy who cut the fresh 6K. Spent a lot of time with a chainsaw and in the black flies this year, Mark did. But anyway, we're grateful, great test, and again, I think we'll see probably the riders who are on a little later number, like Philip and maybe Bobbitt, have a little more of an advantage than, say, Owen up on number 4. But as we can see by the times, Cheney had a great time through this test also.
Yeah, indeed. Philip Cheney won it by over 41 seconds. How do you get that kind of an advantage in a relatively short test over such a talented field of other pro riders?
Well, I think if you watch Cheney ride, I think that's the big thing. He doesn't make a lot of mistakes. He's very smooth. He's getting a little older now. He probably doesn't want me saying that, but I think the experience is paying off. And in Quebec, they have a lot of terrain like this. If you look, Goujon in the cross countries is beating Cheney more often than not now. But in the tight stuff like this, Cheney still has the advantage, and it's that experience and that smooth riding and just knowing, not wasting energy and not making a lot of mistakes. That's the biggest thing in brand new trail, is to not make mistakes. They cost you.
Well, Philip Cheney with the win here on test number 3 McCrumbs. Ryder Heacock, his consistent riding here in the early part of the cord had him finishing second. Owen McKill, another good run for the Vernon, British Columbia rider on that gas. Alexandre Goujon in 4th. Jared Jonker rounds out the top 5, but I think Russell Bobbitt, Blair, is going to be disappointed. Only good enough to finish in 6th. He was 58 seconds back of Philip Cheney.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I mean, Russell Bobbitt's been around for a long time, and I'm wondering if these first few tests, he's just getting his feet wet and seeing what the Canadian terrain's like, getting used to the way we run things. And I think as we saw, as the weekend goes on, he'll be more of a threat. What really impressed me, though, is the young guys, Owen McKill on number 4 and Ryder Heacock on 6, to come through these 2 tests back-to-back, which definitely are more of an advantage to be on a later number, and to come through and still be consistent and up near the top is really a good job. They have to work a little harder to get a time like that.
Well, with his second win here on day 1, Philip Cheney is your leader by some minute and 31 seconds over Russell Bobbitt, who sits there in 2nd. Alexandre Goujon on his Husqvarna is 3rd. Ryder Heacock 4th on the Yamaha, and Owen McKill continues to round out the top 5. Shout out to America's Cameron Harris on his gas. As we said, he was an expert rider here back in 2019, now a full-fledged pro, and he managed to come home here in 6th, so he consistently has been running here in the top 10. So that is the rundown on test number 3 of day 1, McCrumbs. When we have our next episode from the Ballistic Sports Desk, it'll be test number 4. That is the butt test. Always a very interesting test, and we'll see whether or not Philip Cheney is able to hang on to the lead.
McCrumbs 27 Edward, 29 Edward, 29 Free, 35 Charlie.